welcome to TV Talk with Natasha and Kimberly. I am Kimberly, that is Natasha. Say hi, Natasha.
Hi.
And we are going to review today for you the latest episode of Grimm called Mommy Dearest.
Yep.
And the day 10 of Helix. But let's first start out with Grimm. So this episode was all about Woo, and you guys all know that we're big fans of Woo. So
yes,
that sounded funny. And so I love this episode. And not only that, but I like when they bring in the different folklores from different cultures and stuff. Although this was actually a Vestin, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Not
it was
like
a Vestin.
Yeah, because it was in his books and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, it was the last one that they did was the Kukui, and that was a Vestin as well, but it's still part of folklore that people have at least heard about. And the Aswang, that was the Vestin, and the crazy Vestin it is, and ugly and creepy, and
completely
so this
computer
was
generated.
Yeah, and so this is apparently a myth that's part of the culture in the Philippines. So yeah, and Wu is apparently Filipino. I didn't realize that, and shame on me.
Yeah, I didn't either, but yeah, no, this is what I noticed is like the whole body was completely computer generated, and a lot of times in Grimm they've got a lot of like face makeup, or they computer generate the face or whatnot, but this entire body was, so I found that really interesting because I don't remember ever seeing one like that before. It was gross, mind you, like what it would do was gross.
Oh, with the long tongue, and it kills babies. That's not good.
I just don't know how she didn't wake up. Like, I'm sorry, maybe it's because I'm a light sleeper, but I would have woken up before that, and definitely for sure as soon as it like punctured her, because she didn't wake up right when it punctured her. It was in there for like a couple seconds before she woke up. I'd have been like, what?
Well, if you recall that the mom put valerian root on her tongue, and it helps knock the person out while they're doing it. So the valerian root is already on the tongue when they initially go in there to help knock them out.
Still, that initial puncture would have sent a nerve center all the way to your brain. I mean, that had to. It was through the belly button. They said.
Yeah, through the belly button.
No.
Yeah, no, that was just too creepy, and I felt really bad for Dana. And we learned just a lot more about Wu, kind of like where he comes from, and the fact that he was told a scary story that turned out to be true, but also, like, it seemed like his family's cool. Like, we actually met a family member, a cousin, who owns a shop in Portland. So it's like, this is cool. And you met an ex who apparently is the one that, the mother-in-law wants to kill her baby.
There's still something there. Like, I was like...
Yeah, ooh. At least on his part, for sure. I mean, I think she doesn't want to have feelings for him, but they're going to be there. But whether or not she's going to actually do something about it, no. I think she's going to be faithful to her husband. And that's just the epitome of awkward, and will you let her get away? Shame on you.
Yeah, no, I felt kind of bad for him. We also saw his brother in Manila, because he called his brother.
Yeah, that was Sam. That was the husband.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. That wasn't... What am I thinking? Yeah, it was Sam. And it's just, I don't know. It's kind of, it's also weird that he convinced them to move to Portland because he said it was safe. It's like a glutton for punishment. Like, you want to convince this person that you've known since you were a kid that you're obviously still in love with to move to Portland.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there, but I feel kind of bad. Well, the whole story, the whole episode, I felt bad for him because shame on Nick and Hank. I don't care what's going on. That is your friend, and you don't let that happen to your friend and not say anything.
I mean, it's history repeating itself because you did the same thing with Hank, and looked how he turned out. It was when you finally told him that he was okay with it. Like, he still had to come to grips with it, but it was slowly, it made a lot more sense to him than just seeing something that came out straight out of a fairy tale that you knew about when you were little and just say that that's an illusion or you're deluding yourself. And not only that, he checked himself into a hospital. And I hated that. I hated that Wu had to do that because all they had to do was say, okay, look, we saw it too. You're not crazy.
It's infuriating, actually.
It's infuriating. And I think at least Hank brought it up because he's like, dude, you did the same thing to me, and I went almost crazy about it. So he needs to be told. But then he kind of choked up as well. I mean, what is it? I know it's hard to kind of bring it up, but Will brought it up first. Like, he's like, all right, I'm really thinking here that something's happening with what happened with my childhood. There's a myth. It's the Oswong. Something's going on. I don't know what it is. And then he actually confronts it while she's trying to kill the baby again. And now he's having nightmares. I'm sorry, that was a rant.
You don't let your friend go to like a crazy place, like a crazy house, like a hospital. You don't let them check themselves into a mental hospital, knowing that what you know and how it's real, and you just don't let somebody deal with that, especially somebody you call your friend. So I was very disappointed in both of them.
Yeah, actually, boo on them.
It ended where I was like so angry. I had anger.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping that Hank actually changes his mind. Is like, all right, look, I need to tell him. How I tell him, I don't know, but I need to tell him. Just something. Like, I want Wu to be part of the gang now. He's been initiated. It's time to tell him.
Exactly. And then we've got Adeline's storyline. We can call her that now because she definitely has her powers back. Her baby is insane.
Yeah, her baby is creepy and apparently telekinetic and psychic at the same time. I don't know.
And very protective.
And very protective, yes. Adeline is going to be a single mom for a very long time. Let's just say that.
Yeah, although I can't tell if the baby, like I saw it wrap its hair around his hand, and I don't know if it let it go because he was just like warning him or because he realized he was trying to help or what, but that baby, I mean,
yeah, like as soon as the baby senses danger, it's like I'm on the prowl. Like, I'm protecting mama, I am protecting myself. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, like you said, maybe he was trying to say, this is your warning, and I'm just, I felt sorry for Miser because it was like, oh yeah, maybe he did really kind of see he's attracted to her a little bit, but now it's like, yeah, maybe you should just stay away, boo.
Yeah, because her daughter ain't gonna allow it. I mean,
no. Wow. And maybe except with Daddy, like, I don't know. Maybe if she sees Renard, maybe it'll be like a connection, and it'll be like, okay, this is Daddy, and he'll know for sure, okay, that's my daughter. And what kind of Vesson is the child going to be? I'm assuming a Hexen Beast, but with a little something additional to it. Because I don't think a lot of Hexen Beasts can move things with their minds.
Either can Renard, so...
Exactly. And also, I don't even know what kind of Vesson the prince was that Eric's brother. Or Renard's brother. No, he has to be some kind of Vesson in order to take control like that. I mean, let's be for real.
Really?
To be a prince and part of the royal family, you have to be some type of Vesson. What kind of Vesson? I don't know. But I would think you have to be some kind of Vesson.
I didn't think they were. I thought Renard's mother was, and that's why he is half.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's kind of like the mixed relationship. That's why he's considered a bastard.
Yeah, but I thought like the royal family was like they're not.
Well, it's kind of like both ways. You know what I mean?
I don't think they've ever explained it. So like.
No, they've never. I don't think they've ever really explained it. And I hope they do because they need to do it somewhere with that storyline because I'm getting bored.
Yeah, and I hope they get her out wherever, like out of that place soon, because it's like, come on, let's get back to Portland, because I'm tired of being in Vienna. And
Yeah, and I really thought that she was trying to kill the baby, and I'm really sorry I thought that, but it appeared to me that the only way to get her powers back was to give birth, and then somehow the baby died because of it. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just glad the baby's alive, even though it's creepy.
yeah, it is kind of creepy. Um, well, that was,
Oh, and we learned the first name of Wu, Drew.
yeah, I know, true. Pops up on the phone, says
Yeah,
Drew,
pops on the
Drew
phone.
Woo.
Drew. We
He's
have a
everywhere.
first name for Wu. They need to do something with Wu. He needs to be brought into the gang. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and if they let him sit in that mental institution, I'm just gonna be, I'm infuriated. I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
So bad. All right. Well, let's move on to Helix, day 10.
Lord
Um,
have mercy.
this is all your fault because you said bad things about Sarah. Look what you did. I wrote it on my notes too. Natasha, look what you did.
Hey, she's still alive, isn't she? I mean,
Barely. Are you happy? I'm just
I was
kidding.
like, darn, she's back next week.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry, but
I felt so bad
I
watching
did
it.
feel bad, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, you did all that, and she's still alive. All right.
Oh, Natasha.
Sorry. I sound so harsh and so thoughtless, but yeah.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
it looks like Belisarios has a new love interest, and her name is Anana. Because they were making out. They finally
Yeah.
made out. Yeah. And I don't know, maybe the only reason why he was even with Sutton was because of what they were doing with, as far as the company was concerned and protecting their interests and all that, and it was just an attraction. Whereas with Anana, it just seems like he wants to be a better person with her, and so he was like, "Yeah, I got to take it."
What
even
I
though
want
even though she beat him up like I don't know how many times, maybe he's just attracted to that. I don't know.
what I want to know is how are people living in the Arctic? I mean, where is the infrastructure for the plumbing, the electricity? I understand the facility, the research facility. I get that, but I don't understand how they are functioning out there. There's no store. They can't grow food. Like I don't understand. I was just like sitting there thinking about that the whole time. I was looking at their little like they're not like mobile homes, but we're kind of like mobile homes. But and I'm
Yeah.
like, this is impossible.
Well, I guess depending on how when Julian and Alan were looking at the map, it just seems like they were kind of closer to Juneau, Alaska, or somewhere where they could be able to get something, like food and toiletries and all that stuff. Like they must stock up and a plane must go there to drop stuff off. I mean, there's just no way, at least to me, that they would be able to function.
I know it's like, and that guy ran off with the I mean, where are you gonna run to? You were in the art. Where are you gonna run?
He ran to the radio station. That's where he ran to get some help
It's
because he
like
was the only survivor. And then he managed to catch Dr. Adrian with the Narvik, and so he shot him and tried to kill Julian Allen. Well, Daniel came to the rescue on that, and no one questioned where Daniel was all this time. I'm like, are you serious? Granted, we knew what Daniel was up to as the audience, but no one questioned, all right, where have you been?
everybody's kind of concerned with what's going on in their little world. Like
I
everybody else.
know, but it's just so funny that it's like, all right, someone's missing. What are they up to? You would think that they would be automatically suspicious, but it's like, no, Daniel's just doing his thing. He'll be back. And he
So
was.
now it kind of makes sense to me. Why remember when I was like, okay, when Hantaki injected Julia and he was crying like when he saw her eyes and stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, obviously she's related to him, but he also kind of condemned her. I mean, a lot of people would think, hey, it's going to be awesome to be immortal because that's what we found out. These are immortal beings now. It'd be awesome to be that way. Yeah, maybe for the first 50 or 60 years, but you're going to watch everybody around you pass on, and there's no end, as we saw to the guy that was being held at the, for
For
29
29
years.
years.
Um,
29 years. I want to end it then too. I'm
yeah, so it's just
sorry.
now it makes sense to me.
Well,
Um,
I'm just wondering, for 29 years he's been down there. Where was there a bathroom facility, and where?
oh, dude, don't do
I'm being,
that.
I'm
Don't.
being maybe I'm just being too technical, but it just seems a little. You would think that they'd be kind of like, oh my gosh, the stench is, awful, and maybe just Hitaki just brought him, maybe had him have bathroom breaks with a chain and brought him back down there. I don't know, but it just seems a little weird that their noses wasn't scrunched up at all, because he had to be funky. He must not have let him at least shower or whatever. His clothes was dirty and whatnot, and maybe I'm just being technical. I don't know.
You have a cat behind you.
And Percy's saying hello again.
um,
This is becoming a weekly thing now. Say
but
hello, Percy. Say hello.
So now we know that the Alaria Corporation is run by 500 of these immortals, and which makes sense because I mean, science people in general have to be kind of desensitized because they do. I mean, we don't want to admit it, but there's animal testing that's going on, and not everybody can do that and not get attached to animals and be able to dissect them when the trials are over and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But they take desensitized to a whole new level, and it's because they're immortal. They see death come and go all the time, and they're unfazed by it. In order to do trials on like children, because that's what I feel like they're getting at. That was done to some of the children there. You've got to be like completely desensitized, which these people are, and that's why and that makes sense now why they will kill. To get what they want. I mean, you think people in corporations are probably cutthroat, but I mean, this is beyond cutthroat.
Yeah, but it just seems a little weird that they're still able to die if they don't get, like, if someone doesn't kill them, they'll just live forever. But if someone kills them, they can still die.
Well, yeah, you cut anybody's head off, and I mean, what are you gonna do? Like,
yeah, I mean that's what happened with Sutton. I'm assuming she was an immortal since she had the eyes.
that's why they cut her head off, I guess. I don't know.
That's why he choked her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. But I mean, they cut the vein off the guy. I think it was Gunnar Meckelson. So yeah, it was kind of gross. And shout out to the music again. They had Christmas music while they found the creepy dude, and also had a discussion listening to Christmas music while getting shot at.
Yes, and it was like kind of slow-mo too, where it made it.
Yeah, it was like Noel, the song Noel. I'm like, oh my gosh, really?
I just didn't understand like why they're in there calling Mayday, Mayday. It's like you want to. He was just trying to call the Alara Corporation. And you want to get on the same frequency and call Mayday and let them know that you are there.
Yeah. I don't know if she managed to find a different frequency channel or what, but it's over and done with now, and they're probably still on their way. The Alaria Corporation, or the rest of the soldiers, so to speak. And Peter totally creeped me out too, because he just took the pictures and was like, I'll just post them up in the shaft and just stare at them.
Yeah, he's creepy. Julia really stole the Narvik. She didn't burn it like we thought she would.
And we're wondering why. Like, what's up with that, Julia? Is it because Hitaki lied again? I don't know. Like, is she trying to find a cure using the Narvik? Like, I'm not understanding.
That doesn't make you immortal, because
so she doesn't become, so she isn't immortal anymore.
We'll see what happens with Sarah. I don't know if she's going to become immortal or they're just going to be able to cure her. Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Oh, poor Sarah.
Yeah, so Nanan and the village are trying to move to a different location, although
Where are you
where,
gonna
I
go?
have
I
no
know. I
idea.
can't even.
Do they have some kind of camping equipment? And also, what was up with Belisaros running out there with his coat open and it's freaking freezing outside? No, no, like they're not covered up. Like, what is going on? Like, I know you want to say lines and stuff, but we mentioned this before. It's not realistic. You're supposed to be in Antarctica. It's supposed to be freezing, and you're not covered up.
I don't understand any of it. I mean, there's that, and then there's plumbing and
Plumbing.
electrical wiring. Like I can't. Um, but
Unless they just dig a big old hole where the toilet is.
but you have like a sink and stuff. That's what's so weird. Like
I
I don't.
don't know. I don't know. Maybe
What?
it's kind of like, well, maybe it's kind of like one of those RV trailers,
Yeah, could be.
because somehow
Um,
they have like generators and stuff. So
well, I don't know. I'm just looking forward to seeing what's going to happen, and now I have to root for Sarah to make a recovery because one of us has got to be the nice one.
oh boy.
So we're looking forward to that. Next week we will update you guys on what's going on with that. So
Yeah, and also from the previews, it looks like they're about to blow up the base. And I'm like, well, do you have transportation to get out? And also, what about the other people that haven't been affected? Is there no one that's not infected now?
I don't know. I don't watch previews.
Well, that's what I'm getting from the previews. And shout out to Geek Soul Brother and Jonathan Stone from the Five Nerdy Venoms. We were live tweeting with each other on Helix, and they mentioned Highlander. There can only be one. That was funny.
Yeah, shout out to them. Thanks, guys. Yeah, they're pretty cool guys. All right, so we are going to wrap it up here for TV Talk with Natasha and Kim. I am at anime23 on Twitter or at the Nerd Element. And Natasha?
At Willcat12.
Right, and again, Natasha live tweets at the Nerd Element and at Wellcat12 for a lot of shows. As you just heard, she does Helix. You do Grimm too, or?
Yeah, I do Grimm as the Nerd Element and Helix as myself. Just because I started doing it as myself, so.
All right, so that's where you guys can find her. And then if you have any questions, go ahead and tweet them to us, make comments below, and we'll get back to you on the next episode. All right, everybody.
Once is on the night. Once is on the night. Bye.